Welcome back, Gators, to the Who's at the Gates podcast. Of course, I'm your host, KT Phoenix, and we have the lovely Diana on the call with us. We are talking about Friday's episode number 88 from season 2 of Beyond the Gates. And yeah, before we start, this is about to transition into Ted talking to Monica. But before we start, Diana, did you have anything you wanted to say?
If you haven't downloaded the Fetch app yet, please do so. It's Fetch, Fetch. Great rebates. You get points back to redeem for gift cards. On there, you'll see a ton of P&G products that you can get points back on to redeem for products. So again, in these trying economic times, we gotta save our coins somehow, y'all. And P&G is on that app. So please download if you can.
Oh, thank you for that lovely service announcement. And P&G cut the check. All right, let's go ahead and go into this right quick.
Not judging. It's not my place, son.
I made a mistake. It's the oldest one in the book, actually. But I got drunk
You cheated on Shanice. I had my reservations about you, but I put them away because she was happy. You gave me your word. You were serious about her. How could you?
Okay, I slept with someone before Shanice and I were together.
I'm not following.
Okay, Shanice has it in her head that I'm gonna somehow circle back to this woman. And I cannot talk her out of it.
Well, my niece has incredible instincts. Is her hunch even a remote possibility?
I wouldn't sleep with that woman again if my life depended on it.
Ooh, that's a quick response for a decades-long marriage.
This isn't about Nicole.
Oh. This is about your other daughter's mother.
It doesn't gel for me. He's
So, Casey, you texted me about that. So please share with the class what you think about this scene.
This really burns my bacon, and I will tell you why. I do not like getting family members involved with love lives. And what I mean by that is if you are dating someone, you do not call up any relative of their family to intervene on your behalf ever. You don't do that for multiple reasons. First reason is it's none of their business. What's going on between you and your person is between you and your person. Second reason is, let's say they do intervene on your behalf because you've asked them to, like Monica is doing. What happens if you screw up like Ted is about to do? Because we know he's about to sleep with Nicole. You know it's coming. I know it's coming. Everybody knows it's coming. The homeless man around the corner from me knows it's coming. Ted's going to end up sleeping with Nicole. So now, after that happens, Monica was the one who convinced Shanice to give him a chance, and she does it. Then Ted slips up, breaks Shanice's heart. Then Monica feels responsible. Had she not gotten involved, then that wouldn't be the case. In addition to that, as well, that can turn into a whole, it's almost like, I remember when my god sister got married, and I'm so glad I didn't go to her wedding, because she did one of those vacation type weddings where you go on a cruise and all this other stuff, and it costs like I think $2,000 per person. And I'm just like, why do that? Why not have it at a location people can drive to, or this or that? If I'm investing $2,000 in someone else's wedding, that means I'm invested. If I'm invested, I'm going to feel like I can butt into your relationship, because if I spent $2,000 to make it to your wedding, you're going to make this work as long as possible. You're not just going to get divorced a year later. Not if I paid that much money to go to your wedding. I feel the same way about this. If Monica has now basically co-signed this, that opens the door for her to give her opinion about other things. things because now she's invested. She didn't invest money, but she gave her time and her reputation. And she used the capital in her relationship with her niece to advocate on Ted's behalf. That opens the door for her to continue doing that and offering advice, whether Ted wants it or not, or whether Shanice wants it or not. And that's why you don't open that door to be like, oh, you can be part of the relationship. No, you're not part of the relationship. It's Ted and Shanice. And that, like, out of all the things Ted has done on the show, this is the one that has me livid. And I'm usually cool with Ted. I'm not saying I'm, pom poms, yay, Ted, yay. But at the same time, I'm cool with Ted. And doing this really pissed me off. But let me be quiet. Diana, you got it.
I think it says a lot about him that he can't convince Shanice. And also, I think it says a lot about him on what he chose to focus on with her aunt. Because, again, I said many times before, I do not blame Ted for going back to Leslie. I blame Leslie more so for the night that happened, right? Because he wasn't in the right state of mind. She took advantage of him, full stop. He was in a low place. I know people are like, well, he was the one that drank the alcohol, but I think if the genders were reversed, it would be a much larger discussion. So, but anyways, that being said, what triggered all this is Leslie mouthing off like usual, right? And Ted defending her. And I think that's a larger discussion of he's always going to defend his children's mothers, it seems like, right? Always coming to their defense. I fortunately, I don't know, everyone sound off, don't have experience in that, but I think that's something that, like, in a larger discussion, Shanice has to realize, right? Like, Ted is out here acting, he's just like, I'm a single man, no responsibilities, I don't even see my kids, whatever. And it's like, that sounds good at first, right? But I think it's like, you have to realize, like, this man has commitments, and even though all his kids are grown, the woman in his life don't act like that. He doesn't even really act like that, right? Like, it's almost like, the charade that they're hands-on parents, even though that's very questionable with the advice that they be giving out. But yeah, I mean, I think it's let alone, like, let's just say that Leslie wasn't the person that she is, because again, Nicole is great, right? And supposedly, Nicole is a very reasonable, calm woman. I think Shanice is very correct in questioning, like, do I want a partner that has such a long past? We before I had to hop off with you, we actually discussed this, like, the whole baggage situation, right? Like, do you want the baggage that comes with a relationship? I don't know why people are pushing for Shanice to, like, overlook that when it's such an important question. You really have to look at all aspects of your life before you get with someone, especially at this age. Again, Ted was like, I'm in it to win it. Next person is going to be the person I walk down the aisle with forever and ever and ever. Shanice, she already has, like, one foot out the door. I don't know why they're pushing this. I just really wish that they would let her trust her gut, just because. Now I'm gonna go to a different tangent. I don't know, like, they didn't bring this up, and I don't know why they're, like, pushing her, but I don't know if it's just because, like, again, she's a woman, and because she's of a certain age that they're like, you should really lock it down. I know people that had this kind of pressure from family, and it ended up terrible. So it goes back to what you said, right? Like, once family gets involved, it just seems like a downward slope. You don't want to be pressured just because you're a certain age, right? With women, it's a little bit harder because it's like the clock is ticking. You have, once you're of a certain age, a lot of the partners, whether like men or women, have passed with children, and you have to, like, kind of consider that, right? Like, all this baggage, all this history. Case in point, like, Shanice should just be single. She should just be a traveling nurse, live her life, collect that check, live on a farm.
Well, we are rooting for her to not go that route now, because, like I said, I want them to be together, but again, it's not realistic. Okay. Ashley and Grayson talking at the thing. I don't even know. Like, oh yeah, by the way, Gators, we're literally doing this live. Usually we'll go through the episode and pick out a few scenes prior to recording, but this one we're kind of doing it as we're recording. I thought, do you want to do the Leah one talking to Malcolm, or did you care?
I didn't care.
You didn't care.
I didn't care.
We can skip over it. Yeah, okay. Let me see. And definitely Jacob and Smitty, I just don't care. So over it. Tyrell and that whole oh, I know I want to do the evil one. Where she's like, oh, I'm not doing anymore. The evil's like, girl. No. Okay, wait a minute. I think this is when Eva comes in. Yeah, let me take it back just a little bit. Okay, let's do here.
Dress, curtsy like nobody's business, have the perfect date, hair, and service projects, and I'll still just be Samantha from the group home.
Nope. That attitude would not fly. You don't get to send me on a Samantha scavenger hunt in the middle of a workday and then up and quit. I went to the country club and then the mall, and then you text me, never mind.
I'm sorry I had you running after me, but this is for the best.
Okay, we're gonna talk. One girl born on the other side of the tracks to another. Look, cotillion can never have been a thing for teen me. Not the etiquette classes or the ceremony, and definitely not that price tag. But what it stands for? No, I can get behind that. Community, service to others, overcoming insecurities in order to be a better version of yourself. Who can understand that more than us?
I know, but those girls have had fancy dresses and pros from the jump.
And we are not them, but we have something they don't.
What's that?
Grit. They would be lucky to have someone as fierce and as strong as you are in their class, babe.
She's right. Those other girls have no idea what it's like to make something out of nothing. They don't know what it's like to have a mom who bought drugs instead of groceries.
You told me cotillion was all about stepping into your power and owning who you want to become. Are you really gonna let someone else decide who you're allowed to be?
No.
Hell no. You're gonna show them exactly who you are and why you belong. Am I right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you for this.
Of course.
I'll help you.
Well, I guess my job here is done.
And I always thought the speech gene came from the Dupree side. Maybe Dad passed it down. You were great with her.
I know what it feels like being an outsider.
Dad says you have plans tomorrow. What if you join us instead? We don't want you to miss any more big family moments. Birthday girl.
Helping Samantha get ready, that is my part in her day. But knowing that my brother invited me means everything. Tad, I have actual patients who...
I feel like we're gonna have different opinions on this scene, so I'll let you go first.
Okay. For me, this is me. I thought it was cute that Eva did come in and sort of cheer her up. But the larger thing for me is how Eva is being that auntie to Samantha and Tyrell. And I love how Martin has embraced her, whether genuine or not. I feel this mostly genuine. I just think that's really cool that she's getting along with her family because Martin is her brother. And that she was able to just show up and kind of save the day on that. I just thought it was cute. I enjoyed it. So what do you have?
Wow, the complete opposite. Okay, so it doesn't make sense to me. The scene does not make sense to me. Part of it is like the writers. I don't know, anyone else can maybe correct me if I'm wrong. But as far as Samantha goes, she was adopted young, was she not? Like, she has like I feel like vague memories of her mom. So I feel like she was young enough to, yes, know like, pain and suffering, unfortunately. But grew up the majority in this rich Dupree family. So I am kind of like, you've lived more of your life in this household than in your past life. I don't know why these insecurities are coming up now, or the whole like, oh, they were born rich. I'm like, well, you're rich now. Your dad is a US representative. I also don't know why it took Eva to like give this like one, this like 2-minute pep talk when the Duprees are always like, we are Duprees and we don't sink to anybody's level and we're so great and all this stuff. Like I just think it's wild
Well,
how they framed her as like an outsider. And again, she is, but I guess it's like the Duprees had no effect on her at all, like no effect on her upbringing for her to feel like she needed Eva. I don't know, like it's just a little weird to me how her lack of like, I don't know, it's just very weird to me because she grew up most of her life like this. But yeah,
yeah,
it was
but they
cute.
don't care though. And by they meaning like Anastasia and those type of people. They don't care. The only thing that they care about is that Samantha and Tyrell are not Martin's blood, in that they did not come from the same area that the others came from. And because they know what they know about June being a former drug addict, they're just like, well, they're just the kids of a crackhead. And not saying June did crack, because I don't know what type of drugs June did, but it's, is one of those things where it's like they don't care. And with Eva grew up poor and she's not from that background either. So it's just kind of like, even though her father is Dupree adjacent, because technically Ted is not a Dupree, Nicole is the Dupree, but because it's within that family, Eva did not receive the same benefits, even though Samantha and Tyrell did, but Eva's that outsider as well. And she can relate to people looking down on her for whatever reason. And I think them connecting on that was cute. Now, is it realistic? Half and half. But definitely I thought it was a cute scene.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's also another thing, right? It's like Samantha's technically a teenager. Won't say anything more beyond that. She is technically a teenager, right? And yeah, I mean, it's hard, right? I'm far removed from being a teenager, but it is hard to, a lot, a lot of insecurities. I think she also goes to public school, right? So like, it's like, as confident as you can be as a teenager, you're still like finding yourself and you're still trying to be your own. So like, yeah, I get it. People with the judgment. I think more so my judgment also comes from the Duprees. Like they weren't able to like boost her up. You know, I said something on Twitter that was basically like Nicole's ass, like let her leave in disarray, and she was just like, well, time for some wine. So clearly there was maybe we didn't talk Samantha up enough in the Dupree family, like.
Well, I mean, in Nicole's defense, she was too busy trying to come to grips to why she's still fantasizing about Ted. So she couldn't be concerned with Samantha in the moment.
She was like, oh, my girl is here. We're in the country club, like nice fine men serving us, like grandma who, glamma who.
So yeah, that's what we're looking at. Okay, let's see what else is going on. Okay, so you know what? This was a good conversation. I will give them that. The one that Shanice had with her aunt, like I said, even though I didn't like her being brought into all of this, I still thought that was a decent conversation. Oh, girl talking to Marcel. Don't know if we really want to talk about that. Same thing with, I thought this was kind of funny with Vanessa, Nicole, and Ted or whatever, and then he sort of ran off.
See,
Uh,
those are moments where I like Vanessa because she's a real one. She was just like, yeah, I'm fantasizing about men and what? Like, she was not awkward about it at all.
yeah, hold on. Let's go ahead and do this one right quick. Where are we at? How far are we into it? Hold on. Take it back a little. Oh, I meant to go forward, actually. That's fine. It'll transition.
And so I will be flying solo to the ball. Picking one over the other just didn't feel right. Besides, this is about Samantha, so I will happily be playing the role of totally doting grandma.
I will never get used to my sexy bestie dropping the G word.
Hey, grandmas can be smoke shows. Do you remember when you tried to talk me into calling myself Gaga instead?
But you wanted to lean all the way in.
Tyrell and Samantha came to us when they were in grade school. It took months after the adoption for them to finally say it. If a name could be an embrace, that's what grandma is. You'll see when Donnell and Deanna get there. Oh, shoot, I'm sorry. Is Deanna still freezing you out?
She is. I'm giving her space. For now, I'm resorting to keeping tabs on her through Donnell.
Oh, that's hard.
It is, but it's okay. Back to the subject at hand. What do you have to top that last Ted fantasy? Public sex with your ex is pretty high on the scorchometer.
It is impolite to eavesdrop.
I heard something about a scorchometer.
And that's all?
Ted, how do you feel about public sex?
Vanessa.
I had the wildest fantasy about a certain card shark, and I was taking my girl's temperature on it. So, where do you come down on public displays of affection?
I think I should have kept walking past to the gym. Have a good one, ladies.
You think he heard?
No, I can still read him.
Oh, too bad. He's here, you're here, the presidents are here. You could see if that old spark exists outside of your daydreams.
See,
You know all of the reasons why that is not a good idea.
Oh, and yet he's still popping up in your psyche. You could easily find out why.
Aside from our rough patch before Kat, sex was never, ever our issue. Secrets were.
Okay.
I just want to interject. I just one thing.
Mhm.
Just really love that Ted just was like, well, Shanice's aunt, she's got it. She's got it from here. Let me go tone my body at the gym. Hate this man. Hate this man so much.
I think, but you know what? I love that they put this part in there at the end where Nicole was like, you know what? The sex was not the issue. Secrets were the issue. That's Nicole, which she said that plenty of times last year during season 1, where she was just tired of being left in the dark all the time. And she always felt like she was the last person to know. Now, in Ted's defense, she even acknowledged that it wasn't Ted, that it was multiple people who would tell her certain things after the fact or at the last minute because they felt she might have been too fragile to handle the truth in the moment. And I believe that it would be hard for her to get back with Ted because of the trust issues. If she could get past the trust issues, I could easily see her going back to Ted a lot quicker. But because I know it will take her a while to get past the trust issues, it's going to take a little bit longer. But it's nice that her and Vanessa can have those conversations, even though I feel this is the second day she's been at the country club drinking wine. So, yeah. What say you?
if Naomi can practice law from Orphe jeans 7 days a week, Nicole can practice therapy with a glass of wine just 2 days a week. That's what I say. But yeah, you're right. I don't think I looked at the bigger picture. I honestly forgot that she had such an issue with the whole Martin scene, how she was the only one not in it. Like everybody knew the secret but her. And as a parent, I feel that's something big to hide from your spouse, right? That only like, oh, I didn't tell my wife. I completely forgot about that. And I'm surprised that Nicole let that go. I can't remember how they try to rationalize it, but yeah, that's something pretty significant to hide. Just this
Yeah,
whole
but
family detail secret. And I don't know why it wasn't until you said that I was like, oh yeah, that was a mess.
yeah, and it wasn't just that. It was the whole stuff with Leslie in the sense of it wasn't just Leslie getting pregnant or coming back. It was also him trying to hide it by paying Leslie off and not
Yes,
telling her about it. So it
that's
was
also
like a
true.
twofer. It's like, yeah, it's like Leslie exists. He didn't tell her that, but in addition to that, Leslie came back to town and he tried to pay her off, but he didn't tell her that either. And it it's just usually a combination of things. And there were some other things too where Nicole got pissed, where she found out after the fact. And she's just like, why didn't you tell me? That that was the thing. It wasn't Ted having a child with another woman. It was her not being able to trust him anymore. And I mean, quiet as it's kept, if we're talking about relationships, women can be pretty forgiving sometimes. And I believe that Nicole could have forgiven him for that had he been more honest about it, had he not kept so many secrets, because all of that ties back to trust. And if a woman can't trust you, and this really anything, woman or man, if someone can't trust you, it's just difficult to make it work. It just is. So that's where that's at. But again, I'm glad that she's living her life. She's drinking her wine with Vanessa. They're talking about getting it on in the country club. Ted getting it on. Vanessa talking about public sex. It's amazing. Let's see.
Vanessa could probably give her recommendations on every room in that club.
Yeah, probably so. This one I wanted to do because how did we go from you're messing up to, oh, he did an excellent job, sir? Hold on, let me see.
They're gaslighting us.
Okay, let it transition.
We've got the perfect vantage point for command.
Yep, far enough not to rouse suspicion and close enough in case we have to move in. Yeah. Jacob did good work on this.
Now listen, when he opens the rear door, that's the signal to send in the Special Ops Division.
Nothing like breaking out the big guns to meet the impaler.
Yeah. I can't wait to nail this son of a bitch and make him watch while we round up his entire crew.
Gotta hand it to you, boy. He did good work for this being his first major op. Maybe I should have kept him as my partner, huh?
So how did it go with our dirty doc? He gave me plenty of time to do what was needed at the hospital.
Yeah, pressed enough to see her squirm. When she looked at that security footage, I can tell she was the one who turned them cameras off. Just another perp despite the white coat.
Yeah.
Can't believe I didn't see this coming.
So, what's her next move?
But she's not the type to sit on her hands. I hit a nerve, I know I did.
So she's gonna try to improvise?
Yep. And when that happens, she's gonna slip up.
You know, there's so much wrong with this scene. When it comes to this, like I said before, how do we go from you're messing up, giving Naomi a number, where really she shouldn't even have contact with you, period, to Smitty being roped in when you yourself got upset about Smitty being roped in because he's technically a Dupree. And then in addition to that, it was Smitty, the phone, the Grayson situation, and Ashley on that part where he didn't even utilize Grayson the way he really could have, which I'm semi confused because it's just kind of like, okay, you're setting all of this up, the sting operation. The only thing you got from Grayson is that Leah is the point person. You know something's up with Grayson getting the job at the clinic. Why didn't Jacob talk to Grayson about that? Because I didn't see any conversations about that. He knows Grayson is doing something, but why didn't he say, like, okay, like, Grayson, this is the plan, whatever, whatever? None of that has happened. So I'm just trying to figure out how Jacob became this great detective all of a sudden. In addition to that, with Marcel's like, I'm shocked that Leah's doing this, or I'm shocked that I didn't catch it. Sir, that's because you're dirty too. Sounds like something is amiss here. Like you're just making something up. Like you knew she was dirty. You had to know she was dirty because you're dirty. And I'm just like, and even if you didn't know, why would you care? Because you're dirty. Go ahead, Diane.
You know what's so funny? I was like, wow, he's actually like a team player. He's being sincere. He actually does want to catch. But you're right. I'm like, well, I guess he should have known. I was like, no, anyone, please, just like correct me if I'm wrong. Our tax dollars went to funding a little love nest for Jacob. As much as he was like, I'm away from my wife, and she was like, my husband. They were shacking up like every other episode. It was just booty call after booty call after booty call. So if anyone, our tax dollars funded that apartment or whatever that Jacob never switched out, so people could easily just follow him. He just stayed there. He basically had a vacation. I don't know what he did. Besides
It was being a
occasionally
great detective.
He occasionally got on an elevator. So he was in a warehouse once. I don't know what he did other than send Smitty out to do the work. Fine, he's a great detective. He's a great delegator.
Yeah,
That's
we'll
it.
run with that. That's why I'm just like, your father flat out let you have it in the last episode for not being on point with what you were doing. And now that they're about to raid this place, it's like, oh my gosh, he did a great job. Did he?
Yeah, I'm just saying, as a citizen and beyond the gates, I'm not happy with how my money's being spent.
Same. Oh, goodness. Let's see what else is on. I kind of want to do this scene. I kind of don't. Let's do it as a still, I guess. Let me push this over here a little bit. Okay. The Grayson and Eva thing getting into the safe. I don't know, but I would have set it up and been like, hey, this is what's going on, yada, yada, yada. Like, I just would have coordinated it and been like, the cat's out of the bag. That way, it would make it easier to bust Leah and the other people. I know they're after the Impaler, but I just feel like if they had more of a coordinated operation on what Grayson was doing, that would only help with the evidence. So I feel like Grayson is still doing it without the approval of the law because he did an immunity deal. I would think that part of that deal would be cooperation. So it's like, what are we doing here? To break into the safe and do something? I don't know, but Eva was really sweet. What do you have?
Yeah, we focus on the wrong, well, maybe not the wrong things or different things, but I was like, for as much as I don't like Eva, sometimes I'm like, she seems like a cool coworker. Like, she was so helpful. Sometimes when you have to onboard a new employee, people will just not give you things like access to platforms that you may need. And you just have to jump over hoops, just email people you've never emailed before. You have to fight for your life to get the things that you need to do your job. And Eva's like, oh, I got you. I really appreciated that about her. I just
Yeah.
yeah, that says a lot about my work experience, honestly. But you just gotta fight for your life to like actually, have someone train you or, show you things. But no, I don't know what Grayson is doing. I don't think he knows what he's doing. I think he's just he just has his scissors and his hairline, and he's just gonna fight through it.
Yeah, I just feel like he's a hamster on a wheel or something. I don't know. I'm ready to see what happens because somebody is, well, we'll go into that once we get to as a matter of fact, how much of this is left? Okay, not necessarily about Jacob and Naomi because we don't care about that. Leah, I don't know why I said Jan. Leah and Ashley.
That was a pointless
Yeah.
scene. I
I'm just
cannot
like,
take Ashley
like,
seriously.
I don't think we ever do.
Setting boundaries. Like, sorry, I cut you off, but I know you're about to say that because that was the most bullshit.
Yeah, it's kind of like, wait, what? And then Nicole's still fantasizing about Ted. Now, this was a cute moment here. Hold on. We'll just do it as a still. When Tyrell gave Samantha those earrings, and then he was like recounting the story of how she wanted to have diamonds in her ears, and like, how do you say, you're always shining to me, or you'll always shine to me, and stuff. I was like, oh, that's so sweet for big brother to give little sister the earrings and stuff. I'm like, okay. I'm not always concerned about their storylines, but that was a nice little moment. I'll give them their props. Like, okay, that's a nice little moment.
Yeah, it ends on this, right? Like, this is the last scene. I think so. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it was a cute moment. I think they do a good job of setting him up as a good brother. And yeah, I mean, I think I agree with you, right? Like, I'm not always invested in their storyline. I don't know, maybe you have a better experience with soap operas than I do, obviously. Like, do you think like this is the next generation? Like, do you see Beyond the Gates 10 years down the road and like them being like the main protagonist or something, right? Because you know, characters can age, obviously. I'm not saying like, just because they're older doesn't mean that they can be in the spotlight, but I feel like I don't know if that's the direction that they're going in with these kids.
I do see it being a possibility where eventually they could be more of a lead character, possibly. It just depends. I don't know why. I feel like they're about to bring another villain to the show. We need another villain. Like,
We
Joey
need
is
another villain.
my villain. Obviously Leslie is a villain. I thought Lynette was going to be that other villain that they were bringing to the show. Because I was going to say, oh, okay, I can get with this. Bird.
I mean, I just feel like there's a lot of villains that aren't wrapped up yet, right? So you have Haley. We don't know if Lynette's dead. I think there's a possibility that she comes back. Allison, she's in jail, but she can always come back. I think she's gonna make a comeback. I think she's probably behind the lawsuit, for example. Who else?
Mm-hmm.
I'm hearing chatter that Doug might not be dead. So if Doug comes back from the grave, he's gonna be a villain, and that would be great.
Yeah.
I think, like, people's guesses, not necessarily that it's confirmed anywhere. I don't think it's not, but If they could do a come back to life, I want it on Doug instead of Lynette.
Yeah, if Doug could come back, it would be something. Because Malcolm was the one who orchestrated that, in the sense of Doug getting drunk, so on and so forth. But if they had a storyline like Randy found out about it and then offered Malcolm a ridiculous amount of money, and he offered it to him because he felt he owed Doug for saving his life, where Randy's like, he gave up his entire life savings, like he had $1 million saved or something like that, and he gave it all up for Doug to once he found out what was going on, to save Doug's life, and talk Malcolm into doing everything and then faking Doug's death, and then Doug comes back, baby. You talking about some drama, because then Doug can talk about how he was supposed to be dead and Joey was the one who set it up. Oh.
We need you in the writer's room.
Don't get me started. I used to write scripts back in the day. So,
we need you in the writer's room.
But definitely, I could see something there. I would love to see where that would go. I was about to do the scenes for next week, which would be this week, because we're recording this on a Sunday. So we'll upload it for tomorrow and do that. We're trying to get some other things done when it comes to shorts. Usually posting on YouTube first for shorts. Diana will start posting on probably the X platform. She's been working the controls on the X account lately. I've been doing a few, but I've given it over to her because she's so good at it. So definitely shout out to you, Diana, on that. We appreciate it. Also, shout out to the Gators who are commenting on the videos. We appreciate your comments. One of our Gators is very, very, very zealous in their comments, and we love it. We love for people to be engaged and involved in the show. And we're here and we appreciate the support. I guess it's kind of time to wrap up. Diana, do you have anything else?
No, just echoing. Thank you for your kind words. But I just always love hearing people's opinions about these characters, because we disagree a lot. Maybe not disagree, but we have different takes. So it's always like refreshing to hear others. So please, we welcome it.
Yep. Definitely feel free to hit us up with the comments. All right, everyone. Well, until next time.
Bye.